Actually, right from the beginning, I had this drive, this fascination for improvement or creating solutions to problems. And I think the genesis of it was that during the initial parts of my career, I worked with some very senior engineers and technicians who constantly impressed upon me that there's no other option, alternative, but to continuously improve, invent, make things better. It's important to be relevant as an engineer, as a product, as a company. So that stuck with me right from the beginning. So in everything that I have tried to do, I've tried to improve upon things. And I think the first time it paid off was when I filed my first patent, which was an improvement to one of our automation products in the suite. The fact that something I created was unique enough for being considered as a patent with the USPTO, the fact that when I googled my name, that patent showed up against my name. I think these few things were a strong drive for me to continue on that path, and now I have 11 patents and many other product ideas as well. So that has been one of the key driving factors. One other thing has been that spirit of competitiveness. So your peers, your colleagues, even the other vendors that compete with you in your space, the ability that you are able to create a solution in an area that others felt could not be done, or trying to create something better than your colleagues or your competition. I think that has been that other motivating factor to invent as well. Everything and everyone for that matter. So as I said, right from the beginning, I had this feeling that if there's a problem out there, I would be excited to solve it in some form or the other. So I think that has been the key inspiration, if you will. But as I moved along over the years, few other things came into a picture as well. So I talked about the fact that my role involves talking to customers, sales, field teams day in and day out, and listening to them about how our customers are facing problems in a specific area or the issues that are grappling them day in, day out. I think that definitely gets my thinking cap on in terms of inventions. I think quite a few of the inventions that I have were sourced from those discussions with the field and sales teams. I said competition. So a competitor coming out with a new product or offering in the space, I think that gets my thinking going again as well. How can we get an even better product than the competition out there in the market? How can we outdo the competition, not only get new customers but probably even acquire some of their customers in that process? So I think some of these things have been helpful in driving me and inspiring me to get some things done. It just happens is not for me. So I think I've never had that eureka kind of a moment for anything that I've worked on. So it has to be a purposeful thing, a dedicated effort and dedicated time spent on thinking about the problems that I have on my mind. So it has to be a dedicated effort. Over the last few years, I think I've definitely changed the strategy in how I work with my inventions. Initially, I would be sort of a lone ranger, if you will, in some of the inventions that I did. But over the past few years, I've tried to leverage teamwork. Some of the programs that I'm part of, be it the CTE, the Council of Technical Excellence, or the mentoring programs or Site Vitality, some of these initiatives that I'm part of allow me or enable me to get in touch with technical experts outside of my domain, outside of my product group. So as I said, in the last few years, I've worked very closely with some of the folks in mainframe, security, cloud teams. Hearing these groups of people, these experts talk about what problems their customers are facing, relating those problems to our domains, and in some cases together discussing on our common problems has given us insights into some very interesting ideas that we were eventually able to patent as well. So it would be a purposeful, dedicated time spent on thing. But as I said, in the recent past, talking to people who are outside of my regular day-to-day work domain as well. No specific time of day as such, but as I mentioned earlier, I need to have that dedicated time and effort spent. So dedicated time where there are no distractions with emails, phone calls, or the other impending things that you need to do. So some quality time spent on the problems that I have earmarked. And then that's another critical thing, that you need to have a set of problems that you have earmarked to spend your time on. So spending that quality time coming up with a bunch of possible solutions, some of which could eventually be looked at as patent applications that could be worked on. So dedicated effort, some time spent. As I said, in the recent past, one thing that I have consciously tried to do to add to my routine is create some time over the week to talk to people outside of my group. And I said it's paying dividends for me, so I'm making a conscious effort to include it in my regular routine. So talking to people outside of my group and understanding from them their view of some of the problems that we are facing. So that's something that I've been trying to do in the recent past. A few suggestions I would definitely like to give. So in my personal experience working with engineers over the past few years, what I've realized is we engineers tend to undermine the work that we have done. So I've seen many cases where the engineers have enhanced a specific part of the product in a very unique way, but they are very, very reluctant to consider their work to be innovation and good enough innovation to be filed as an idea. I have coaxed many engineers to give it a shot and file their work as an idea, and in many cases those ideas eventually made it to a patent. So patents need not necessarily be only very complex and fancy mathematical work. The work that you are doing could be a patentable item as well. We have many people in the organization who have gone through the process. You can consult them. They'll be very happy to help you. Let them work with you and determine what aspects of your work could be unique enough to be patented. Don't dismiss your work outright. I think that's a very critical and important roadblock that most engineers face and that I have worked with. So that's the first part. The second part would be collaboration. I mentioned that in the past few years, given that I am collaborating with a lot more people, my success rate with inventions has improved dramatically. So go out, collaborate with people, discuss your problems with them, have lunch with people who are outside of your product groups. Trust me, it will open up avenues that you would have never thought of. So I think talking to people, collaborating with people is a sure shot way to get success in area of innovating and improving. Last but not the least, you need to have a clear set of defined problems. I think that's another area that I've worked with a few teams as well. People want to invent, people want to innovate, but they are not sure what should I innovate on, or which area should I pick to innovate. If you struggle with that, I think the easiest thing would be to understand your product line or your company's strategy in terms of technology. So for example, with CA, we are heavily focused on security, mobile applications, mobility that is, and cloud. If you focus on a couple of these areas, you would be able to find problems and have a solution to those problems that would not only help you individually, but also would help CA to come out with better solutions. So I think being able to take out the roadblock that your work is not good enough to be called an invention, collaborating with people, and then having some clear defined problems or domain areas to be worked on would be a few suggestions that come to my mind. I think the key one would be the confidence that I have gained as an engineer, as a technician, as someone working in a high-tech company. Due to some of these inventions and product ideas that I have been able to work on is a very valuable thing, and probably the thing I like the most. But other than that, the fact that product companies like CA and the technical community in general, the amount of attention that gets showered on you as an inventor, it's awesome. I mean, I can't say I don't like it. It's a pretty good feeling. You feel privileged being an inventor in the current times. It actually opens up a completely new set of opportunities for you within the organization. People look at you as problem solvers. People want you to work on the most complex problems that are grappling your teams. I think that ability to be able to consider first for such projects, I think in itself is a pretty satisfying thing, according to me, as an inventor. I think that pretty much goes a very long way. Last but not the least, the kind of access that you get as an inventor to talk to executives or other folks that visit your workplaces, I think that's another value addition according to me, which otherwise people who don't invent don't get that ability to talk to senior management. So I think that would be another thing I would definitely call out. For many engineers, this seems to be a like a big mountain to climb, inventing, but that's not the case. There are many examples where even incremental improvements were awarded as patents. So I think my first few patents were incremental, and that's what I keep telling other teams as well, that if the work that I could do incrementally was given or awarded as a patent, you could do the same thing as well. One thing that has worked for me personally over the years is I have set myself a target, a goal for the number of IDFs I file every year, and I think that served as a very good self-motivation, and I hold myself accountable very seriously to that goal. I think the more IDFs you file, the more chances you have of getting a patent out of those IDFs. So I think that's one thing you could definitely use to in your endeavor in terms of inventions as well. There is a material side to being an inventor as well. So there are patent bonuses that CA allots you when your patent gets filed and the patent gets issued by the USPTO. So that money is non-trivial as well. So I think for people, initial or new inventors, I think that could turn out to be one of the motivating factors as well. Obviously, it should not be the only motivating factor, but if you are able to get a patent in the USPTO and get $3,000, I don't think that would be a bad thing at all. So I think that you should definitely consider those aspects as well.